This is Miami football's 2020 National Signing Day. Your introduction to the new class of RedHawks. Brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. And now, with our National Signing Day special, here's the voice of the RedHawks, Steve Baker.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into our 2020 National Signing Day special here in the studios at Yager Stadium. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks, and over the next 2 hours, we will indeed introduce you to a brand new class of Miami RedHawks. The incoming freshman class, 23 signees signed their national letter of intent today, and we will introduce you to each one of them. Of course, as always, I'm joined on the show by the head coach of the Miami RedHawks, Chuck Martin, and Coach, here we have it once again, the championship trophy for 2019. RedHawks are the regular season champions, East Division champions, and quite a year to review as we start the show.
Yeah, no, obviously we're very excited to have this trophy sit next to us. And again, obviously it's been a long process for us in slow and steady and improving. And we felt like 4 years ago we got to the point where we could compete with anybody in this league, but it's obviously hard to win the East. It's hard to then go to Detroit and win the championship. And then probably an unlikely scenario this year. We were very young. We lost a bunch of seniors a year ago. We knew we were going to be really young on one side of the ball. But just to watch these kids come together and blend together, and just the way they played off each other and found a way to support one another, not just support when things were not going well, but support within a game. Whenever we needed something, it seemed like whatever side of the ball, OD or special teams, would always find a way to do it. Whenever one side kind of stumbled, the other side picked them up, and that was just kind of the story of the year. And to win a championship, winning 5 games, by less than a touchdown is pretty remarkable. Yeah. And it's been a blast to be a part of. We've talked since January about how excited I was about this group of kids and how they're coming together, and obviously it culminated in the MAC championship.
Great class of signees this year, but let's go back a year ago when you and I were sitting here and introducing a class. Did you ever at that point envision using as many true freshmen in this year's team as you wound up doing?
Yeah, no, it's most in my 28 years of coaching, to be honest with you. We talked at this signing day special a year ago that this is the best class we've ever had during our time at Miami.
Right.
And it should be. As you continue to get better and facilities get better and your record gets better, you should keep building on the successes you've had. But no, I did not envision that, you have as many true freshmen come in and not only contribute, but contribute in major ways. Obviously Brett Gabbert being the freshman of the year in the league. Yeah. You got Rusty Feth and Caleb Schaefer, who end up taking over the starting guard jobs by the conference season and basically play the rest of the year. You've got James May, who makes big play after big play. It seems like in every victory we had, right down to the championship game, one of our touchdown drives, there was a big play to, first drive of the second half against Central, we hit him on a roll route before we hit Jack on the screen. And then obviously defensively, Lonnie Phelps and Ivan Pace, who are our third down pass rush specialists. The second play of the MAC championship game, we got 2 true freshmen sack, and there's grad transfer senior quarterback, And then obviously Luke Bolden and Austin Ertl were major contributors. So, and that's not even counting the redshirt freshmen.
Right.
There was a play in the MAC championship game where we had 6 or 7, I don't know which it was, but it might have been 7, freshmen or redshirt freshmen on the field for a play on offense. We're trying to win a MAC championship. We got 6 or 7 freshmen on the field. Yeah. So amazing how they contribute. But we talked about it with the O-line, but it's the whole team. How our team embraced those kids, because there's obviously older kids that would have liked those spots, but a lot of times there's the older kids helping the freshmen come along and really buying into that, whatever's in the best interest of Miami football. So it's not just freshmen coming in and be good enough to play, but how do the older kids react to them and help them? James May said over and over in high school, I was trying to beat out older guys when I was a freshman, sophomore. They never helped me. He goes, I come here, they're helping me every day, trying to learn the offense and become a better player. So pretty special things from that freshman class.
I want to talk about the mentality of this team, because when you take a look, every single game, and you played 6 of 9 on the road to start the season, and but every single game almost you go in as the underdog. And this team embraced that mentality. And surprising to me, having as many young guys as you do, that this team was able just to really embrace that mentality, never let that bother them, never let anything in a game bother them. They just kept going.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. our coaching staff did an amazing job individually with their groups, getting their group, whatever position they're coaching, mentally prepared for the grind, and then collectively, when you say that they supported the players supported one another, well, then that's the coaches got to support one another. Mm-hmm. That's where it starts. And usually that's a veteran group, like you're alluding to, that a veteran group can get through 6 out of 9 on the road. A veteran group can get through, a debacle of a game in the horseshoe early in the year and move on. A veteran group can find ways to win, because usually it's like, well, it takes experience to win close games. Well, we didn't have that. Mm-hmm. But like you said, our kids, but it was accumulation of the whole organization. We're always talking about running a business from top down, and everybody has to find their niche, find their role, from scout team guys to coordinators to head coaches to you name it, and how these kids and coaches blend together. And we talked about camp. When you looked at our schedule, you knew there was rough waters ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like, okay, this is set up for it to be easy for the 2,000. Then you look at our youth and inexperience, you think, okay, well, how do we get through even the non-league schedule with playing some of young guys without them being demoralized? And then, a tough win against Buffalo, and a tough win against Northern, and a tough win against Canton, and a tough win against OU, and a tough win against Akron, and a tough, so pretty amazing thing, like I've said over and over, pretty amazing thing to be a part of, in our kids' ability to grind through and understand that it was never going to be this year. By the time we got to the championship game, it was like, hey, if it's close, it's over. Like, that was our mentality. And we got a bunch of freshmen buying into, like, hey, as long as the game's close, we're going to find a way to win this game. It's going to be ugly at times, it's going to be pretty at times, and everywhere in between. But we know we're going to wear them down. It doesn't matter what the stats say. We got outgained almost every week.
Almost every week, yeah.
We ran the second fewest plays in the league this year on offense. If you look at the league stats, we defended the most plays. Yeah. You don't win the league title when you run the second fewest plays. We ran the 11th most plays, and we defended the most plays. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
And a lot of the stats don't make sense, but if you're around our kids and you're around our coaching staff and you're around their toughness, that's what prevailed at the end of the day.
Well, you've had that mentality for 13 games now as the RedHawks win the Mid-American Conference Championship game a couple of weeks ago, week and a half ago or so up at Ford Field in Detroit. And I want to kind of go back to that as the fans watch some of the highlights from that game. But you said in your very beginning speech to embrace the tough. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. Of course, you get a big opening kickoff return, but these guys really, they were facing some adversity, particularly on the offensive side, and managed to push their way through.
Yeah, and again, that's been when we saw our schedule, and 6 out of the first 9 on the road, and the non-league schedule and the beginning league schedule. We've been talking about that since August. Like, we're going to have to embrace it. If you don't embrace what's hard this year, we're going to have plenty that's hard. And then it just kind of became who we were. They embraced it. They had success. And again, the opening kickoff is a microcosm. It's like, who's going to make the big play? Well, right. Who knows? Is it O, is it D, is it special teams? But everybody's going to pitch in. And it wasn't surprising the first play of the game, we punched them right in the mouth with a big play on special teams. So it's pretty amazing how these kids bought into that. And it's a credit to our coaches who have recruited these kids, because it isn't like we got a bunch of kids, then we melted them together and made them tough. We recruited tough-minded kids from tough-minded families. We always tell the recruits, like, everybody says there's no old school parents out there anymore, but we're looking for them. We believe they're still out there, and if you're an old school parent and your kid has some ability, we'd like them to play football at Miami.
Well, and you got certainly some of those guys on the defense. I know you coach that side of the ball, and from the very beginning of this game, your defense kind of took over things from Central Michigan, a team that had been averaging almost 500 points, almost 40 points, and almost 500 yards a game. And just right from the start, the defense showed that, hey, we're going to play today.
Yeah, and again, our kids are crazy excited to play this game. The Ball State second half left. We had played really good football for a long time, and we played really good football in the first half. The Ball State second half left a really bad taste in our kids' mouth. We talked about that going in the game. We talked about after the game. Like, David Saylor came down to practice. He's like, hey, where's their mindset after that? Mm-hmm. That the loss to ball. I said, they're just ticked off. Trust me. I said, don't worry, we're going to play in Detroit. I said, if that's what you're worried about, we're going to play. These kids cannot wait to go play another game. I said, the luster of playing in a championship has left, and they want to go play and show everybody. And then, like you said, over and over this year, we're the underdog. And honestly, we're the underdog in some games that we don't believe we're the underdog. So that's part of it, is that our kids thought we were better than the other team. Mm-hmm. But according to whatever, statistics show that we should be an underdog, I guess. But our kids always believe we're going to win all these games. And we talked about even going in OU, and they've got a senior quarterback, and they're predicted to win the league and gutting out a great victory there. The celebration was good in the locker room, but it wasn't like you would think. It wasn't euphoria. It wasn't like, oh, my God. It was like, hey, we came in Athens with a plan that we're going to win a hard-fought game, and we know they're a really good football team, but we think we're a pretty good football team. So pretty amazing stuff throughout the year, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew to the point where when we hit this pass to Jack in the second half, I literally turned to the sidelines and told, this thing's over, boys. Doesn't mean we're going to pull away, but this,
right.
We've got our lead. It's the second half. It's going to be low and tight. This is who we are. This is perfect script for Miami football, not perfect script for Central. And I didn't think we were going to pull away. I thought it would be a tough game, but once we got a lead in the second half, I'm like, our guys will not give this up.
Well, I told you earlier in the week, I was the person that was uneasy until that final Hail Mary hit the ground and to give you the win. I do want to ask you, obviously National Signing Day today, how does this championship help you in this year's class and certainly into next year's class?
Yeah, obviously it's huge.
Yeah.
Just anytime you can win a championship of any sort, you win the East, that helps your recruiting. You get to go play in Detroit, one of 10 games that weekend on TV, so the exposure alone, just getting to Detroit and playing for the championship helps your recruiting. Then how you play and just how people recognize the team, all the media people, everyone, that it wasn't just that we won, it's how we did it. Mm-hmm. It was tough-minded, it was gritty, it was team. Saylor had a great quote of the consummate team. We were the consummate team.
Right.
It was totally unselfish, crazy preparation, crazy work ethic, crazy togetherness, and again, everybody knows that. We noticed it at Iowa.
Right.
We talked after the game in Iowa. Hey, your kids came ready to play. I'm like, I saw it too, Bake. We went in at Kinnick Stadium. It was like,
yeah.
It was no holds barred, and that was the whole. And even going in the shoe, we went in the shoe, and again, we got bludgeoned in the end, but we came out swinging.
Exactly.
We didn't. So just how these kids came out to play every week and compete every week, and it just snowballed and got better and better. And but it's going to help us continue. You have the best record in the league over the last 4 years by 2 games. So it's not just 1 year. We came out of nowhere and did this. We had tied for the best record in the league the last 3 years before this season. Then you pile on a MAC championship and you add to the best record in the league. And then how young you are. You have 1 senior starter on defense. 1 senior starter on offense, and you have 4 senior starters on defense. And you've got a bunch of guys coming back, and now you're adding a really good recruiting class, which we're going to go through in a little bit. Things look very good for Miami football.
You see Sam Sloman making the field goal there to make it 20-14. Of course, Miami would go on and win the game, and we're going to go to break here. Again, just an outstanding game by the Miami RedHawks in winning the championship. National Signing Day, I do want to talk a little bit overall your thoughts on this class, as in our next segment we'll start introducing the individual players. But tell us about your thoughts on the overall class and some of the things that went into this class.
Yeah, and again, each year you have more success. Each year you kind of raise the bar for what you're looking for. And we're getting more and more particular. When you're 0-16 and you don't have very good facilities, you're kind of like, hey, who wants to who doesn't have anything going now wants to come fight with the RedHawks for the next couple of years. Versus now you can be a little more selective. And I always talk to the recruits' parents and the recruits, the kids in our locker room are sacred to me. They're the most important things in the world, not the incoming class. And I'm not belittling the incoming class, but we don't want to add anybody to that locker room that's not of the caliber. I'm talking about the caliber player, because there's plenty of good players out there. The caliber person, the caliber work ethic, caliber competitiveness, the caliber toughness of what has already produced a MAC championship. And a lot of the biggest litmus tests for the kids we do take is getting them around our players and seeing what our players think of them. Not necessarily even what the coaching staff thinks. So we can evaluate whether they're skilled enough to do the jobs. But then our kids will tell us, yeah, coach, we want this kid in our locker room. And if they want him in our locker room, then they're probably going to be a RedHawk.
Very good. Okay, the 2020 National Signing Day special will continue. We'll start introducing that class of 2020, and we'll begin with the offensive line when we come back to Yager Stadium Studios in just a moment.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public, with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person, with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. Join Swoops Kids Club, presented by Century 21 and Missy Freedy today. The 2019-20 year offers 2 types of membership: basic for $25 with free tickets to select events, Miami swag, special events, and much more. Or the premium membership for $99, which includes tickets to all home football, volleyball, men's basketball, and women's basketball games, and discounted hockey tickets on Friday nights. Visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
Welcome to our National Signing Day Special 2020. Steve Baker along with head coach Chuck Martin beginning to introduce this 2020 class of Miami RedHawks. Again, 23 new signees, and we'll begin with the offensive line. And Coach, this is an area that was of some concern going into the year, especially with that schedule, because that's where you got beat up at.
Yeah, it was tough. We had to weather more than a couple storms. We came out of the Ohio State game, going into Buffalo, going to conference play with 4 out of 6 of our top guys not playing, which is kind of scary doing. Buffalo turns out to be the #1 ranked defense in the league, so we went up against them, and we found a way with a couple freshmen to grind out. Bester had a 100-yard rushing day against Buffalo with a very beat-up offensive line, and kind of a precursor of things to come, that we're going to find ways, regardless of the circumstance, we're going to find ways to get it done, and we're going to rely on a bunch of people, not the same people every week. So obviously when we talk O-line, we're thinking size and we're thinking athleticism, and a lot of times strength will come. You don't always get, but there are some very strong young men in this class, but you're looking for length and you're looking for athleticism and you're looking for big frames that they can grow into, and obviously we think we got 5 very good ones in this class.
Indeed, 5 offensive linemen signing with the class of 2020, and we'll begin in, I'll say it here, Pataskala, Ohio, and 6'6", 290-pound offensive lineman Reed Holsky.
Yeah, and again, we didn't have to go too far. Just basically head over to Columbus area and get a 6'6", 275-pound kid that's really, really athletic. His best days are certainly ahead of him. He's going to continue to grow. He's not going to weigh 275 pounds here in the next 2 years. He's going to be a big boy. Again, comes from a family, very competitive group. He's an extremely competitive young man. Their team struggled his senior season, but he had a great senior season and did a great job with leadership. Never got down. Every time I talked to him, we could tell he was frustrated that they weren't winning as many games as he would like, but did a great job of competing and finishing the year. So length, athleticism, smart, tough, will always rule the day when it comes to football. And I never think we're tough enough, but obviously we were tough enough to win a MAC title this year. But we keep adding size, strength, and toughness to our troops. It should get better and better.
He was the team captain, earned first team all-conference as a senior, also the team MVP as a senior from Licking Heights High School in Pataskala, Ohio. That is Reed Holsky, signee today, our first announced signee on this National Signing Day special. Up next, we go to West Des Moines, Iowa, Dowling Catholic High School, and a name that should sound familiar, 6'4", 290 offensive lineman Charlie Nank.
Yeah, obviously younger brother to Peter, from one of the top 1, 2, 3 programs in the state of our Dowling Catholic state champions. Once again, Coach Wilson does an unbelievable job there. We've had a relationship with him for years. Obviously, older brother helped us win a MAC championship. Was a starter, was a rotator at guard, was one of those guys that got nicked up at different times, and now we're getting the younger brother, and the Nank's grown big from a football family and from a very competitive high school, and Charlie's a physical, wide body, physical, already strong for his age, and is going to be an inside kind of road grader for us down the road, whether it be center, whether it be guard. He's going to be an inside run blocker and a good pass protector. So it'll be interesting to see him battle big brother. Yeah. You got two brothers at the same position, only a couple years apart. So I'm the younger brother, so I'm always rooting for the younger brother. But played tons of huge games at Dowling Catholic. They're always playing for state championships, always winning state championships. And so whenever, and again, we always talk about, it doesn't mean you have to come from that type of program, but when you do, the transition's usually quicker and smoother because you're used to being coached, you're used to being coached at a high level, and you're used to playing in very big games.
Coached by Tom Wilson there at Dowling Catholic High School. Charlie was a team captain, helped lead his team to a state championship his senior year. Same season, he earned first team All-State. And for our next signee, we stay in the state of Iowa, Janesville, Iowa, and Waverly Shell Rock High School, 6'6", 305-pound Caleb Seek.
Yeah, really, really long, really athletic. Here you see stick and stay on a block and bury defender. Here you see him long snap and cover a punt. I'm not sure he'll be our long snapper, but it's pretty amazing to see a big 6'6" kid getting down, be the first guy down on punt. Going to grow into that huge frame, but you see him right now getting up to second level and being very physical. That kind of Iowa, Minnesota has been very good to us with offensive linemen. You get Tommy Doyle from Minnesota, and then we've got a number of kids from the state of Iowa, so that's been very good to us to dip in and get a little bit further into the Midwest. Ran the 400 once in an indoor track meet.
Wow.
If you want to see a good video, YouTube, Caleb's YouTube video of himself of running the 400, pretty amazing. He did not win the event, obviously, but just shows his length and athleticism. Mm-hmm. So love his competitiveness, absolutely love his size and length, and love how he loves to finish blocks as you watch in this tape. He's got some nastiness to him already.
Gotta like it. Caleb Seek, again from Janesville, Iowa. His high school coach is Mark Hubbard. 3-year letter winner there at Waverly Shell Rock High School. Earned first team all-district as a senior, and also lettered in track and basketball. And our next signee, we come to the state of Illinois, Crystal Lake, Illinois, and Crystal Lake South High School. 6'3", 290-pound Dominique Collado.
Yeah, another really, really physical kid and really strong. Crazy high energy, crazy competitive. Plays in a very good program, plays in a lot of big games. Chicago is obviously an area we like to target. So does everybody else in the MAC like to target Chicago. But we got some really good players out of the greater Chicago. It just happened to be a year that we got on kids that were Miami type of kids in the Chicagoland area. Another kid probably be an inside kid for us, be a physical road grader for us. Loves to finish blocks, plays both sides of the ball. Loves to play the game. Just a kid that you're going to love being around. Just his energy and his passion for football is going to add that to our program the day he walks in the door. So another big physical kid, very, very, very talented, and had a great high school career.
Another team captain, earned all-state honors as a senior, recorded 59 pancakes from his offensive line position, and a 4-year starter there at Crystal Lake South High School. Our final signee in the offensive line category, you didn't have to go far. Greendale, Indiana, a Lawrence High School Tiger, James Morton, 6'8", 300-pound offensive lineman.
Yeah, 6'8", 300 pounds with feet, and hasn't played a ton of football in his life. Kind of a late blooming kid. Right down the road, the closest commit besides getting a kid probably from Talawanda High School. But again, very, very difficult to find the size and athleticism, and then also the toughness. Big jump between junior and senior year in his plays, just based on getting some experience. You would think at 6'8", 300, so young, he'd be stumbling around, but you watch these plays, he's willing to get on a double team. He's still athletic enough to climb up to the next level. So he was a very good high school player, but he is just getting started. His best football is way ahead of him. He understands that. His family understands that. And even I think his high school coaches are excited about what he can become as a RedHawk down the road. So, like I said, tough to find that size and athleticism. We found one at a school right down the road.
I'm sure that James Carsey is happy to see him coming in, 6'8", 300 pounds, and putting some more muscle on that body. That's the kind of body that you don't want to see as you're lining up against it. The offensive line, again, we have Reed Holsky, Charlie Nank, Caleb Seek, and Dominique Collado, and James Morton, all signing their national letters of intent to play at Miami University today. And I tell you what, compared again to just even a few years ago, the size and length is absolutely a huge difference over just a couple of years that you're recruiting.
And again, you can be more selective, like we said, when you have success, but the nice thing is kids know if they come to our program, they're going to get developed. They talk to the older kids. They talk to the older kids about the coaching here at all the individual positions. So when you take young kids and they talk to your current players, say, listen, if you come here, I'm a way better player than I was 3 years ago, than I was 2 years ago. They're going to help develop you in the weight room. They're going to help you develop you nutrition-wise. They're going to help develop you on the field. They're going to give you the tools to get the most out of your God-given ability. And then you add in the size and length and stuff that development is the key to success, and you got to take good young talent. And again, if you coach them back, you're not getting the 4 or 5 star kid, but we believe they can end up as that 4 or 5 star kid before they leave here.
And certainly developed on the field, but off the field as well, with a great Miami degree that they're working on as well. And you can see how these players are going to have great success as they continue in their lives beyond Miami. We've talked to you about the offensive line. Up next, we're going to talk about tight ends and wide receivers. National Signing Day 2020 will continue in just one moment.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. Fans who are unable to attend the Lending Tree Bowl game but would still like to support the RedHawks in the postseason are encouraged to purchase a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile, Alabama. If Miami reaches 150 tickets donated, the Lending Tree Bowl will match it for a total of 300 tickets donated to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile. Tickets can be purchased at MiamiRedHawks.com/BowlCentral. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public, with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
Steve Baker and head coach Chuck Martin back with you. Yager Stadium Studios, the National Signing Day 2020 special. We've introduced you to 5 of the 23 athletes to sign their national letters of intent today. And next up, some of the skill positions, tight ends and wide receivers. And Coach, as you're getting out there looking for the skill, what plays into the number of positions that you're looking for, tight ends, wide receivers, and what are you looking for in those positions?
Yeah, biggest thing when you start talking about receivers is you want elite traits at every position. So elite traits of receivers is how can he really run? Can he run like James May? Can he run by people? Or does he have elite length? All right, is he 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", have elite length? Or does he have exceptional ball skills? So you're looking for somebody that adds something to your program at an elite level. Same thing at tight end. Is he a blocking? Is he going to be a menacing blocking? Is he going to be a Y? Is he going to be an inline blocker? Is he going to be a kick-out blocker? Is he somebody that can really add the run game? Or is he a guy that has length and speed, can stretch the field? And obviously you'd like to have the 6'5" guy that could really run and stretch the field and be an elite blocker, but obviously you don't always find that. So you're always looking for kids that can do jobs in your program, and what job can they do at a high level, as opposed to the kid that's kind of average at everything. We'd rather have a kid that's really good at something and maybe a little less at another, because we'll find another kid to fill that void.
Yeah. I want to talk to you about recruiting area before we get into the wideouts and tight ends. And obviously, we saw in the offensive line mostly Midwest guys. And I think that's your overall philosophy to recruit the Midwest first. And, we'll talk about a player from Louisiana, a player from Georgia, and, the Carolinas every now and then. But most of these athletes are coming from the Midwest.
Yeah, 75-80% of our roster, if you draw a circle around St. Louis through Kentucky, through Pittsburgh, through Michigan, through Chicago, and maybe even a little further to Iowa, whatever.
Yeah.
That's our home base. And we recruit that area first, and we offer that area first. We try to offer every kid in the Midwest first and give them the longest time to say yes to Miami. And then after we've exhausted every opportunity in the Midwest, then we typically branch south like everyone else. And we've had a lot of success in through Tennessee and in through Georgia and in through South Carolina and North Carolina. And even further than that, we got a couple kids from Houston. So,
right.
But our footprint is our backyard. And we've done a really good job of building a MAC championship team and most of our rosters with Midwest kids. But then again, you're not just going to settle on a Midwest kid that you don't think can help you win a MAC championship. You're going to keep looking and keep expanding your net to find the kids that you think can help you win.
All right, let's introduce you to some more of the 2020 class of Miami RedHawks. Tight end, a 215-pounder from Downers Grove, Illinois, and Montini Catholic High School, Nate Mersch.
Again, one of the best programs in the state of Illinois, Montini Catholic, double-digit state championships. Really a receiving tight end. You see him most of these clips. He's going to be flexed out at wideout, and he has the ability to flex out. He has great ability to run for his size. He has elite tracking skills and great ball skills down the field, as you see right there. So he can get open because he's big and strong. Some days he's going to put a lot of meat on that 6'5", 215-pound frame. But he can always get open because he's 6'5" and he's got tremendous ball skills. Here you see him being able to run after a catch. But his ability to go take the ball and whether it be in the red zone or just down the field throws, it's really hard to find. You'll see it over and over on this tape. He was double and triple teamed most of the year, but the amount of plays he makes either behind people or just going up over the top of people is really pretty amazing and add a red zone and a big play threat to our offense.
And a 6'5", 215-pounder, a team captain for Coach Mike Bukowski, earned All-State as a senior, recorded 40 catches on 777 yards and 11 touchdowns, and had 36 receptions, 506 yards as a junior. That is Nate Mersch. Our next tight end comes from Bloomington, Indiana, and Bloomington South High School, 6'6", 230-pounder Ames Bamba.
Yeah, and you always talk about trying to get kids from the best programs.
Yep.
And Bloomington South has been a program for years and years and years and decades of producing, winning games, winning championships, and then producing players that are ready to play college. They've been coached, they're tough, they're physical, they know how to work, they know how to prepare, they take a lot of pride in what they do. And again, looking for that elite size, you got a kid that's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's a long snapper, he covers kicks, he plays D-line, he's played tight end, he's played center, he's played tackle. Like, this year they got hurt on the offensive line. He's a natural tight end. They had to move him to center. He did it without even fussing, got team MVP. So his versatility, his length comes from a really, really athletic family. Here you see him stretching defense, showing his great size and great hands, running down the field. He's going to be a giant kid someday, 6'6", 230. He's going to weigh 275, 280 pounds in the next few years very quickly. So crazy excited about who he is and his talent, crazy excited about where he comes from.
Again, at Bloomington South High School, Moe Moriarty is his coach. A team captain again this year, earned All-State honors as both a junior and senior, and as Coach said, MVP in this last year. He was also a two-time All-Conference player, also lettered in basketball at Bloomington South High School. We stay in the state of Indiana, West Lafayette, Indiana, and West Lafayette High School for 6'5", 195-pound wide receiver Harrison Truitt.
Yeah, you're talking about 165 career catches, over 3,000 yards and 37 touchdowns. And again, you're looking for those elite traits. You got elite length here. You got a kid that can really run for his size, and then you got elite ball skills. So you got a kid that has multiple of the elite traits. Not only does he have the size, the ball skills, but his ability to run at his length, and he's only going to get faster as we put strength on his body. But another deep ball threat, another red zone threat, another big play guy, and crazy production in high school. Multiple sport athlete. We tried to recruit his older brother a few years ago, lost out to a Big Ten school, but got it the second time around with the Truitt family. So Really, really excited to add him, and with what we like to do on offense, he's a perfect fit.
He is indeed. Coached by Shane Fry at West Lafayette High School, All-State as a senior, recorded 72 catches for 1,292 yards and 19 touchdowns, was named to the Indiana Preps Top 22, and school record holder in receiving yards and touchdowns there at West Lafayette. Up next, a wide receiver from down south, New Orleans, Louisiana, Tyner Academy High School, Jeremiah Batiste.
Yeah. Now we're talking speed. Obviously, Jeremiah 5'11", about 170. Ran 10.67 and took second in the state in the 100 meters and has great ball skills. So you're looking for another kid that can really stretch the defense and really run by you and create big play opportunities. Really does a good job tracking the ball, really does a good job fighting for the ball, as you'll see on this tape, and really does a good job competing for extra yards. He does not, even though he's not the biggest, he does not like to go down. He's got tons of energy, but it's just hard to find 10.67. It really is, and obviously we know the impact that James May made this year on our offense in just his true freshman year, and what kind of impact James May is going to make. But now you're adding another speed guy that can make big plays down the field and loves to play and loves competing. Here he turns the corner and puts on the burst. And again, you throw a hitch route and you get a touchdown. It's a pretty nice thing, and this kid could be a big play guy for us for years to come.
Just great speed on the outside, and again, you see his ball skills there. 5'11", 180-pound wide receiver from New Orleans, Louisiana, Jeremiah Batiste. Wayne Turner's his coach down there, another team captain, earned All-State honors as a senior, and was named, was a finalist for Mr. Football in the state of Louisiana after recording 48 receptions, 1,133 yards, and 18 touchdowns. Our final skill position in this segment, wide receiver from Jonesboro, Georgia, and Eagles Landing Christian Academy, 6'2", 195-pound Devon Dorsey.
Yeah, one of the most unselfish kids, does whatever the team needs him, was a great receiver, was a great defensive player this year, did everything on both sides of the ball. 6'2", 200-pound frame with really, really good ball skills and really good athleticism and good speed and crazy versatile. He's definitely going to play receiver for us, but just we love those kids that don't want to come off the field, that play multiple positions, that will do any job, will play OD in special teams, and he's definitely that type of kid, and did so many things. His coach just raved about whatever that team needed, he was willing to do. He never worried about whether they threw the ball to him. They never worried about whether he got the line. If there was a big time job to do, and then he wins another state championship. He's won 4 state championships in 4 years, and obviously we always talk about how important that is to get kids from those types of programs.
Absolutely. Jonathan Guest, the coach down at Eagles Landing Christian Academy. Team captain was Devon Dorsey. Went 54-2 in his 4 years of high school there, winning 4 state champions, and was named to the all-region team in 2019. And there you have it, a couple of tight ends, 3 wideouts in this year's class of 2020. Nate Mersch, a tight end, Ames Bamba, a tight end, and 3 wide receivers, Harrison Truitt, Jeremiah Batiste, and Devon Dorsey. So you have been introduced to about half of the class to sign their national letters of intent today to play football at Miami University. 10 of the 23 will continue, and a little bit later introduce you to a few more. But we're going to talk about the 2019 Miami offensive unit and how some of these players may fit into that when we return. The National Signing Day special here at the Yager Stadium studios. Stay with us.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. Miami football season tickets for the 2020 season are now available. Your MAC East champions Miami football team will host 7 opponents next season, including Cincinnati and Army at Yager Stadium. You won't want to forget to purchase prior to January 30th to be eligible for our season ticket holder incentive program. Call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295 to purchase your season tickets today, or visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person, with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
And we are back in our Yager Stadium studios, the 2020 National Signing Day Special, and I'm Steve Baker along with head coach Chuck Martin, revealing the 2020 class of signees for their letter of intent to play football at Miami University. We've introduced you to 10 of 23 to sign those letters of intent. As head coach Chuck Martin rejoins me here this past season, we kind of reviewed the past season, but we want to pay specific attention to the offensive unit and what they were able to accomplish. I know you talked about running the second fewest plays in the Mid-American Conference, but going into the season, I mean, you had a quarterback battle going into the season. You have a true freshman win that battle. Did you expect the offense to, I don't want to say struggle, because obviously they scored enough points to win games, but to not have as much output as maybe was expected?
Well, when you know you're going to be inexperienced on one side of the ball, we always talk in football, more games are lost than won. Mm-hmm. And we are a perfect example of that. Now, that's not always what the fans want to hear. Fans want throw caution win, go for it on every fourth down. A year ago, we had a very experienced offense. We went for it 27 times on fourth down, which was one of the tops in the country as far as being aggressive and always attacking and trying to. But we felt like that was a big strength of our football team. When you came into this year, we talked about in camp, like, you've got Slow, you got Kramer, you got Crabtree, you got Mo Thomas. Our special teams should be dynamic in the MAC. Yeah. We've got 4 elite specialists. If we can fill it in with guys, and then we bring in Coach here, and Coach here does an unbelievable job, not only with those 4 specialists, but getting everybody else excited about playing SD. Right. We saw, just watch Mo Thomas's return to the MAC championship game, which is as big as any play in the whole game. It's not just Mo, it's a blocking in front of Mo to spring Mo and let him do what he does. We felt really good about our defense. We felt late last year our defense was really starting to hit their stride and really being a defense that with one more year of seasoning. And then we felt, okay, we're going to be young on offense. We don't even know who's going to be our starting. We're going through camp. We don't know until probably the week of Iowa who we're even going to pick to be the starter. There's that heated a battle going on. We know we're going to be young. We had Zoe and Kenny were 4-year starters, and we had other people, Nate Becker was a 4-year starter. So we lost so much experience on that side of the ball. So our plan going in was we better be lights out on special team. We better be lights out on defense. Yeah. And then let's let our young offense grow up. Yeah. But our young offense has to grow up. If we're going to get where we want to go, it can't just be a young offense the whole year. And that was kind of the plan going in, which turned out to be a very, very good plan.
It did indeed.
So early in the year, and then you've got a young offense, and you got Iowa and Ohio State on the schedule, and you're like, that's not really a great way to let a young offense grow up, because you'd like to build some confidence going into league play. Right. But when you play those folks, you don't, you score 14 points against Iowa and 5 against Ohio State. That's not really building confidence, right? So at times we ran the ball on 3rd and 7. At times we played field position. At times, and we were okay with that. But then what you saw with our offense, and we talked, it was really the Kent State week. We were kind of plodding along, doing enough to get by on offense. And then Kent State week, we get the chunk runs right off the bat from Tyree and Bester. We get some chunk throws to Dom and to Mayock and some other people. And then it went from being just, okay, our offense is holding down the fort and doing what they need to help us win, to where now they're more explosive. The young guys are not so young. They're getting their experience. And then you saw it at OU with the big play to James May and the big run by Bester. And it just kind of continued throughout the season. That they grew and are on a really nice pace to be a really formidable group for years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked about Sam Silliman and the special teams. Sam was automatic for the most part of this year, winning field goals at Ohio University, and of course kicked a 48-yarder late in the game in the MAC championship game. As valuable player as any other on the team, and deservedly so. Second team All-American in one poll, and second team All-MAC, but should have been first team there. And should have made, I thought, the Associated Press an All-American team, whether it's third team, second team, but you won't find too many other guys that are going to kick it like Sam Sloman, and I know you agree that he's got a solid chance on Sundays.
Yeah, no, he's got a great chance, and again, he had an incredible year kicking accuracy, and we're trying kicks over 45 yards every week, multiple kicks. It's not, and you look at, did anyone have a better year in the country kicking than him? No. You look at the top kickers in the country, and you really dissect where they made their field goals from, and how many, 6 of 7 over 48. We'll put that up against, and again, there's other great kickers, and deservedly so, and all that. But I'm just saying, this season, who was the most productive kicker in the country, and then who was the most accurate from beyond 45 yards? Sam Sloman was the most accurate kicker in the country from beyond. And that's like I said, we're making kicks and winning. We beat Akron 20-17. We beat Northern 24-21. We won 34-24 over Buffalo. And the reason we're up 2 scores, not 1 score late in the game when they had the balls, because Sloman made a 53-yarder. Obviously, OU, everybody knows about. Right down to 4 field goals in the MAC championship game and 3 in the fourth quarter of the MAC championship game.
Right.
But we're also taking and attempting kicks other people don't even think about hardly. Like teams aren't lining up at 48-53 and kicking; they're punting or going for it. So we're tacking on and winning close games, and we're not doing with 25 to 30-yard field goals. So you add in what he does on kickoffs and eliminates their best returner on the biggest play. What Moe Thomas did in the championship game, their returner didn't get that opportunity.
Right.
Our kid did, and it turned out to be the game-winning margin. You add in what Kramer did on ST, with his punting and his unselfishness to bang it deep when we need it, but to pooch it and get inside the 20 and not worry about what his numbers look like, even though his numbers were great and he was first team all-league. You add in Evan Crabtree, who snaps on all this and is one of the leaders on our football team. It was truly a special group.
It was indeed. And Brett Gabbert, you talked about this team growing up, the offensive unit growing up from the beginning to the end of the season, and obviously the first true freshman ever to start a football game and start a season for Miami University. You could see him growing up week to week, even in the bad times. I remember the pick 6 of Western Michigan. I thought maybe it would affect him. He just kept going. The next game, he just lit it up, and you could see his growth all throughout the season.
Yeah, just very tough-minded, just like the rest of our football team. And he did some great things. Obviously, MAC freshman year, obviously the first true freshman started in Miami. I don't know how many true freshmen have won MAC championships, but I kind of imagine not many.
Not many.
And to do it in front of 2 true freshman guards, and Cam Blakely's a redshirt freshman receiver, and James May's a true freshman receiver, and Tyree Shelton's a redshirt freshman tailback, and it's pretty amazing, because if you put a true freshman with a bunch of experience, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But we put a true freshman in there with not a lot of experience around it, and said, hey, you guys got to grow up together. And obviously they did a tremendous job. And the few veterans we had, the Sorensens and the Skibbs and the Doyles and the Godlewskis, really did a good job of mentoring and bringing along those young guys and supporting them. And then obviously defense and special teams did a great job of supporting them too, because there was some rough patches where we didn't move the ball for maybe a first half, and we had a hang in the game. And then it was like at halftime, like, okay, take a deep breath. We got to halftime. The other team probably could have blown us out, but they didn't. Now let's go get them. And that was kind of what we did. So here you see a lot of tremendous throws, great accuracy, great arm strength. It can make all the throws, short, intermediate, deep, touch. You got to put more pace on it. He can do all those things as a quarterback.
Yeah, you're going to see this play again in our next highlight segment, because a later highlight segment, we want to talk about the running game as we get back to action here. Going into the season, 4 experienced backs, but Jalen Bester really coming back from an injury emerged as just a huge, big chunk play back for you. Tyree Shelton was strong up the middle, found the edge from time to time. Davion Johnson and Moe Thomas, all of them doing a great job.
Yeah, and we talked kind of about the Kent State game, and Tyree was off in that game. This is like the first or second play from scrimmage. He goes 55 yards, runs over their corner, and kind of set the wheels in motion for, hey, our offense isn't just going to be a little part of this. Our offense is going to be a big part of this. We can make big plays. When we need to score, we can score. And like I said, Kent State was the first game. We got a bunch of chunk runs, and we got a bunch of chunk passes. Then you go the next week, and here's another huge chunk run. Like you talked about, I think Bester scored touchdowns in like 10 straight games or something, which is pretty amazing stat. But obviously getting these guys in the second level and then their ability to make DBs miss and turn what could be an 8 to 10 yard run right here into a 45-yard touchdown runs, and he makes one of the best players in the league miss right there, and the Darian Hagan's kid. So as the year went on, the offensive grew, the run game grew, the passing game grew, and we just kind of kept plodding along and getting better and better and making steady progress. And the kids kept believing in themselves, and like I said, the defense and special teams kept supporting the offense, and it got to a point, it's like, I don't know what the yardage is going to look like at the end of the game, but they're going to do enough to get the victory, and they always did. And like I said, when we needed a drive right down to the MAC championship game, a 6-minute drive in the fourth quarter, when they get the call that takes a touchdown that makes you feel pretty good, you're going to go up 27-14. They go a 6-minute drive and get Sloman in position and bang another long field goal. And it was just a perfect ending to the season.
And you see one of the touchdowns there by Jalen Bester. Let's move on to the wide receiving core. You had some experience coming back. Obviously, Jack Sorensen, the leading receiver back. Injury-plagued season for Jack, but still contributed in so many ways. But you had to rely on youth in that position, and the youth grew and became a great receiving core. You see the catch of the year anywhere in college football there from Jack Sorensen.
Yeah, and again, obviously, the Jack story is amazing because he's all league a year ago. He's our go-to guy. We got a young quarterback. We got some inexperienced running backs. Like, we're going to really rely heavily on Jack this year, and then he gets hurt at Iowa, And then he comes back. We get him healthy for Buffalo, and he gets hurt in the first quarter of Buffalo. And for us to win the league without Jack Sorensen being close to 100% at any point during the year, then he comes back, and it's like he plays not close to 100% for the rest of the season. His toughness, his willingness to lay his body on the line for his teammates when a lot of people would have been sitting out. And you saw it all the time. He'd make a catch, he'd get up, he'd hobble off, he'd go off to plays, and the fans would be like, well, he got a new injury. I go, no, he's just hurt. Like, he's playing through an injury. He's tough enough to do it. He's going to get through this season, and then he's going to rest up and heal up. So it was pretty fitting that the MAC championship game, he was as big a part of it in offensive MVP and made all those big plays for what he did for his teammates this year, gutting it out. No one knows how much pain he was in besides him and the training staff.
Right.
And amazing. Then you see other guys pitching in, like you said. James May's pitching in. Jalen Walker's pitching in. Andrew Homer's pitching in. And when you don't have even Jack's celebrating with his brace on right there. Yeah. When you don't have your go-to guy, a lot of kids stepped up in the passing game, and it was definitely a committee was better than the sum of the parts is whatever better than the sum of the whole, or whatever that story goes. But Brett found all sorts of different receivers, and all sorts of different receivers stepped up and made plays for us.
And indeed, you see Andrew Homer there taking it to the house against Bowling Green. Kind of a recap of the offense, and now how do you see this year's class fitting into that offensive unit?
The nice thing is they're jumping in, and we're on this nice steady up climb from. We're not going to be that really young and inexperienced offense a year ago because you got 10 starters coming back.
Right.
So obviously, though, there's still going to be opportunities. They saw it this year. The nice thing about this year and all those freshmen playing, like, that really gives those young kids coming in this class, like, hey, there's kids that came in last year and jumped in the fray and started.
Right.
And were major contributors on a conference championship team. Why can't that be me? So they've kind of raised the bar for freshmen to come. Like, it's not just come in here and be a backup or redshirt. Like, I want to be like a Brett Gabrick or Rusty Feth or Caleb Schaefer or James May. I want to be a major contributor right away. And so the fact that it happened this year on a team that won a league title is pretty amazing, but it really gives those kids really nice incentive to come in and not take a backseat to anyone from the day they walk in the door.
Very good. And again, we will come back in just a bit and introduce you to more of the National Signing Day class of 2020. But earlier, I had a chance to catch up with Miami University Director of Athletics, David Saylor. You've been hearing a lot about the Miami Athletic Fund, the new fundraising umbrella at Miami University that basically gives the donor more opportunities to give to what they want to give to and more. I'm going to talk to him about that and also the start of an excellent fall sports season. We'll talk about that when we return on our National Signing Day special from our studios at Yager Stadium.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public, with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person, with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. Join Swoops Kids Club, presented by Century 21 and Missy Freedy today. The 2019-20 year offers 2 types of membership: basic for $25 with free tickets to select events, Miami swag, special events, and much more. Or the premium membership for $99, which includes tickets to all home football, volleyball, men's basketball, and women's basketball games, and discounted hockey tickets on Friday nights. Visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome in our next segment of the National Signing Day Special here in our studios at Yager Stadium. I'm Steve Baker, joined by the Director of Athletics for Miami University, David Saylor, and the biggest day of the year almost for football. Certainly last Saturday was our big game and a big day for Miami in winning the championship, but I don't know. I think the coaches might be as excited today as they were up in Detroit.
Yeah, I heard Chuck talking in the hallway yesterday, and I've never heard him so excited. So I think there's a lot of energy still from everything that's happened and a lot of positive momentum. And I know they've been feeling that out on the road recruiting since the game ended. Yeah,
now we'll talk about the championship and what it means in a moment for football. But this fall, we celebrated the most championships ever last year with 9, I think it was, and already off to a great start. Field hockey won their regular championship and tournament championship. Miami volleyball wins a regular season championship, and now football regular season or East Division champions and the overall champions in the Mid-American Conference Championship football game. Just an incredible fall thus far.
It has been, and to back it up, I actually told the Board of Trustees last year that I'm not sure we should expect 9 every year. Maybe we'll get 10. I don't know. We're 1 ahead of the pace of last year at this point after the fall sports season is over. So that's certainly the gauntlet's been laid for the winter sports and the spring sports to follow through. But really, it's just the competitiveness of all of our kids. That's what I'm most proud of. You're going to win your share of championships. You're going to lose some here, there, whatever. But just being in the mix is what I love. And our kids just have that intensity. And we've had our share of good bounces and good things happen. But no doubt, I'm truly impressed and just in awe of these student athletes and what they accomplish in winning these championships.
Yeah, 3 years in a row for field hockey, 4 years in a row for volleyball, and of course the football championship. First in a while, and I told Chuck the other day how I couldn't be prouder of his staff, and these guys this year. I mean, it's to watch them from where they started and the schedule that they had in those first 4 games to continue to grow and build and do what they did, ultimately winning the championship. I just thought was an unbelievable feat.
I think proud is the word that resonates the most with everybody around this department, because you're on the wrong end of the record books when we get here, and now we're on the right end of the record books, and just what it's taken to get to that point with the student athletes and their commitment, the coaching staff and all the work they've put in, the athletic department staff who all touch the football program. It's just amazing. And when I was driving home from Detroit by myself, that's really what hit me, was how proud I am of all the work that everybody's put in to get to this point and win that 16th MAC football championship.
Yeah, here we are, National Signing Day, a whole new class of RedHawks signing their letter of intent to play football at Miami University, and they have to be looking at this season as, yes, they won a championship, But man, I may get to play next year. When you take a look at the number of true freshmen that really helped and aided this team get to where they are this year, it's really amazing.
Well, and they also have big shoes to step into.
Oh, absolutely, don't they?
We got to maintain this momentum, and I feel really comfortable with the talent on the roster returning that we're going to be able to do that. But we're certainly going to count on some of these young men to come in and contribute right away and hit the ground running, just like this year's last signing class did.
Right.
So I think it's really exciting, and it shows the positive momentum of what Chuck and his staff have been able to do with the facilities and attracting young men to come be a part of this program. And I'm really excited about this group that's signing today.
The athletic department as a whole has just been rolling under your leadership, and I talk about it a lot, and it's really unbelievable to see when you go over the last couple of years what has happened. Back-to-back Cartwright Awards. This year, the Reese and Jacoby trophies, setting a record in championships, off to a great start this year, and now announced Monday the Miami Athletic Fund, a brand new component, if you will. The overarching component of fundraising for Miami University kind of changes the way things are laid out. Talk a little bit about that, what it is, and how it will impact our student athletes, because that's what it's all about.
Well, I think the biggest driver of all the success that you reference is the donor support that we've received.
Right.
We've raised almost $100 million in the 7 years that I've been here as athletic director, and that money has in different ways gone into different projects and different scholarship programs that have supported all of our sports and all of our student athletes. What the Miami Athletic Fund really does is it gives donors a chance to more directly impact the kids and also benefit from any gift that they might give to us.
Right.
In the past, it was more scholarship driven or facility driven. Now there's a lot of programmatic support type things that will count for the donors as far as their priority points and things that they contribute to. So I think it just gives a lot more access to our donors to give and be rewarded for that giving, and it also allows for a lot of more projects that can directly impact our student athletes in a more positive way. So I'm really excited about the change, and I can't be more happy than I am with the staff in the red and white area as far as support and what they provide, the foundation. John Schemmel and his group, they all just do a wonderful job and have raised a lot of money. And it's nothing, I tell you this, I was in meetings in Detroit for the ADs, and we were the talk of the meeting. Right. I think just this, everyone's gunning for us now.
Right.
We've won so many championships, and it's been noticed by other departments. They're using our blueprint, if you will, in their staff meetings and talking to their teams. And so now we have to know that there's a target on our back, and we have to carry that forward, and our donors are really going to help us do that. What's really exciting about the fund is, with all the money that we've raised and the success we're starting to have, a lot of donors are asking, what's next?
Right.
What else are you working on?
What are you working on now?
And this fund really gives us the chance to have those conversations and explain that.
And for those donors who have been there and have given to the Red and White Club, nothing really changes for them. It just goes into the Miami Athletic Fund, their annual gift. It goes to where they want it to go and all that sort of thing, and actually gives them more options if they want to donate to specific teams or specific projects.
Correct. It really gives all donors the chance to directly impact the areas they want to the quickest.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that's what we're all about, right? Is trying to provide that experience for our student athletes. And so I think it gives a world of options for our donors. They won't notice a whole lot different necessarily in terms of how they want to activate the gift and make it all happen, but the direct impact will get to the places they want it to quicker, and they'll get the benefit from it.
Very good. And if you'd like more information, you can certainly go to miamiathleticfund.org and get all the information you want. Again, that's miamiathleticfund.org to get more information on that. I got to ask you about the bowl game, Lending Tree Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama. Chuck referenced it in his press conference last week. Miami was picked, got the #1 pick as far as that was the bowl that picked first, and actually gives Miami, the best bowl experience, I think. Great bowl to be at, but also gives the staff those full 15 practices to work with to get better for next year.
Yeah, I think the timing actually works out really well for us. Our coaches could really be active recruiting, from when the season ended in Detroit as far as the regular season up until signing day and getting that stuff done, and a little bit of practice in that period as well, but then they can really shift the focus of the practices back once the kids return from Christmas break to get ready for the bowl game. So I think the timing of the game is perfect. Jerry Silverstein and his staff do a fantastic job running that bowl. It's been, they've been running it for so long. I worked at Bowling Green back in the early 2000s, and we played in this game. And I was telling Jerry that on the phone when he called to offer us the spot. And I know Miami's got a great history there. So it's real exciting for all of us to be involved. And I think fans that come down are going to have a great time because they really have a lot of really cool activities. And our website details those. I just want to urge everybody who's planning to come and support the RedHawks to buy their tickets from us directly. You know, if you go to the bowl games website and do it, that's fine. You know, it's nice to have somebody there, but they keep that revenue, and they're probably the tickets that we have to sell, over 7,000 of them, and all the ones that we sell benefit us directly. All the money stays here in Oxford to support our football program, and so I think it's really important for our fans that are coming to plan ahead and buy your tickets from us, and that's really the biggest message I want to get through because it's direct support.
So bottom line is you go to the Miami Athletic Ticket Office in Millette Hall, or you call 513-529-4295, or go online to MiamiRedHawks.com and order your tickets for the Lending Tree Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, January 6th. The third time Miami's been down there. I've been to all three, and I will tell you, you will have a wonderful time in Mobile, Alabama. So you referenced it earlier, David, and I got to ask the question that everybody wants to know, what's next?
You know, it's really a lot more work on continuing to help grow our budget through support, endowments for coaching positions, endowments for scholarships, those kind of things. But the big facility project is really something with Millette. We really want to work on doing something major there that's going to change the trajectory of our basketball programs, similar to what we've done with football. I think that's imperative. The building's over 50 years old, and we have to get something going there. And I'm really excited about a couple donors that are kind of working with me already and certainly asking the right questions. So I'm optimistic. But on top of that, there's a lot more that could come out. I mean, just the support I've received since the game in Detroit from alums of football asking what's next. You know, there's a press box and suite piece, which I know you would enjoy.
Absolutely.
And I know some of our donors would too, as far as having air conditioning up there. So I think getting that project going would be a really cool thing as well to help the football and the Yager Stadium experience kind of next, and also a new turf at football is something that's probably needed here in the next few years. Well,
it's something that everybody sees, but they don't ever realize is we're recording this in a brand new studio that has a brand new control room. We've been in the studio about a year. The control room's brand new, and that's all through your leadership. And as the director of broadcasting, I got to say thanks for that. And next will be we're wiring the stadium, and we'll be producing all of our video for football down here next year, and we appreciate that.
Well, I just think, and also just it's important that we've done all this because I think the continued investment that ESPN has made in the Mid-American Conference and all the different things that we're putting out over the year now, I think it's really cool, and I think it's been great for our fans. I know there was a little bit of uneasiness at first when it was ESPN 3 and no one knew what that was, and then it was Plus, and then it was I have to pay for this, but you know, I pay for it, and it's well worth it. And I know that a lot of our quality content is getting out there, and I think as we look to expand the partnership further from a league perspective, there might even be more content that we'll get to put on a MAC branded channel, if you will, on ESPN Plus. And I think all the stuff that you've been doing and all the great work you've been doing with your staff is certainly going to continue to pay off for us. So I thank you.
We appreciate that. David, thanks so much for taking the time with us, and obviously a big day for football on National Signing Day. We appreciate it.
Look forward to everything. Thank you.
Very good. David Saylor with us here on our National Signing Day special. We'll continue with more in just one moment.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. Fans who are unable to attend the Lending Tree Bowl game but would still like to support the RedHawks in the postseason are encouraged to purchase a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile, Alabama. If Miami reaches 150 tickets donated, the Lending Tree Bowl will match it for a total of 300 tickets donated to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile. Tickets can be purchased at MiamiRedHawks.com/BowlCentral. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public, with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
Welcome back to our 2019 National Signing Day Special. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks, back here with you at the Yager Stadium studios, and rejoining me is head coach Chuck Martin, as we will be exposing or announcing here some more of the class of 2020 in just a bit. But I want to take a moment and thank David Saylor for spending a few minutes with us earlier this week in the Miami Athletic Fund announcement earlier, taking place shortly after the championship game. Great timing for the RedHawks. You win the championship. They announce the Miami Athletic Fund. It all goes hand in hand, and really a great opportunity for donors, not only to help scholarship needs, but to be able to help specific needs as well.
Yeah, no, obviously it's kind of getting everybody to donate to where they want and have more of a say where their money goes. We all want that when we give money to any type of organization or charity. And then just, it's also awesome, like you win the championship and you think back to where we started, and the players deserve the most praise, and then the coaching staff deserves a bunch of praise. But there's way more, as you know, and Dave knows, there's way more to it than that. Where we started and we were still housed in Yager Stadium, we were housed right here.
Right here, in this locker room.
This is what we call the locker room here in Division I Miami University. So. And then to think of all the work David and his staff and all the money they've raised for all these different athletics. We're not winning these championships by accident, right? But then you think of our alums, and I said it's nice to have successful alums. So the biggest thing we can sell to future recruits is you come to Miami,
you're going to be successful.
A lot of these nice facilities come from ex-Miami athletes that have donated back to the program of their choice, and particularly in football. Right. We had a special moment in the locker room with David Dowk and David and Anita and their family and their support. And like I said, it's really special because there's a bunch of people that jumped on before we won a game. We had a 16-game losing streak when David Dowk decided he was going to support and help get Miami football back where it rightfully belonged, and in the Randy Gunlocks and all the other people. So a special thanks to those donors that gave already when we weren't any good, and when we needed a big jump start, and we needed help recruiting, and we didn't have a lot going for us, and you jumped on the ship right with us when the ship was already sunk. And again, and then obviously thanks to all the future support that we're going to get. So, but this wasn't just you bring in a new staff and you start from scratch, and all the people involved that touch our players, and then all the facilities that we've done, and brand new tennis and brand new soccer and brand new this and brand new baseball. And again, then you look at these sports, and then I'm a big basketball fan, and you are too. Yep. I know, hey, the next one is let's get this Millette thing going because it makes such a huge difference when it comes to the success of your program.
It really does. National Signing Day 2020 as underway here, as 23 athletes signed their national letters of intent to play at Miami University. We've told you about 10 of them. Let's introduce 5 more of them in the offensive skill positions, and we'll start up the road in Sylvania, Ohio, Toledo St. John's High School for a 5'10", 180-pound wide receiver, Dimitri Mitsopoulos.
Yeah, and elite traits, toughness and instincts. Dimitri at 5'10", and he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not this, but he is one heck of a football player. Unbelievable interception right there. He had 14 career interceptions. I think he had 9 interceptions this year, 32 career touchdowns, over 200 career returns. I know a bunch of the coaches in Toledo area, no one will punt or kick off to this kid. It doesn't matter where you put him on the field. He just makes play after play after play after play. I don't know if he ends up being a slot receiver. I don't know if he ends up being a corner or a nickel for us. Probably will end up doing some returning for us. But his versatility and then his instincts for the game of football, it's like every time the ball shows up, it ends up in his hands. It doesn't matter which side of the ball. And then he has a bunch of great runs after the catch. So here he comes off his guy and picks off a ball thrown to another guy one-handed. And like I said, I think he had 9 interceptions this year alone, playing both ways on offense and defense. So just a playmaker, super tough kid, crazy instinctual of just making plays with the ball in the air, and he's fun to watch, and we're excited to add him to our offense or to our defense.
Coached by Larry Mcdaniel at Toledo St. John's, he's a team captain, earned first-team All-State as a junior and senior, owns the school record in career receiving yards and touchdowns, and as Coach mentioned, 14 career interceptions on the defensive side of the ball. That is Dimitri Mitsopoulos, I'll say the name correctly this time, Mitsopoulos, 5'10", 180-pound wide receiver from Sylvania, Ohio. Up next, the lone quarterback in this year's class from Lexington, South Carolina, and White Knoll High School, 6'1", 190, Avion Smith.
Yeah, really electric football player here. He can really run, he can really throw. Dynamic athlete here. You see his arm strength whipping the ball 50, 55 yards down the football field, can throw in the pocket, can throw on the move. True dual threat quarterback, and just a great kid. Just a really humble kid. Unfortunately, got his senior season cut short because of an injury. Still put up gaudy numbers his senior season. Only played half a season, but just a dynamic athlete, and can do it all. Run, pass, and kind of makes it look awfully easy at times, as he does right there. So, from a really good program, and we're really excited to add him in the mix. Obviously, we haven't really one really good young quarterback, but we're not too deep at that position. There's not a lot of bodies even in the quarterback line, and we're excited to get him mended up and get him in the mix as early as hopefully this spring.
You mentioned about gaudy numbers. In just 5 games, he threw for 1,029 yards, 18 touchdowns, and added 608 yards rushing for 9 scores before that season-ending injury. Earned All-State as a senior for White Knoll High School. That is Avion Smith, a 6'1" quarterback from Lexington, South Carolina. To the running back position we go, and right here in Butler County, Westchester, Ohio, Lakota West High School, 5'11", 200-pound David Afari.
Yeah, just explosive athlete. And I didn't, when we recruited him and he committed, I didn't even realize he could catch the ball as good as he catch the ball. He's a dynamic tailback, and then here you'll see on some of his clips just tracking and running and catching and returning, and but just really explosive. When there's a hole, he can explode through the hole. He can make people miss. He's got elite speed. He's got really good balance. He's kind of the whole package, and again, right in our backyard at Lakota West High School. Plays for Coach Bolden, who left Colerain after all the successful years to take over at Lakota, and obviously Coach Bolden was very helpful in us getting four Colerain kids a year ago, and 3 of them were major contributor, including his son, and now we're getting another one from Coach Bolden. So, but Davey's a complete package: run, catch, block. Strong enough to break tackles and fast enough to run away from people. So we're really excited about David.
Another team captain, 1,203 all-purpose yards, 20 touchdowns as a senior, was first team All-Southwest and ranked second all-time at Lakota West in rushing yards. That's David Afari, 5'11", 200-pounder out of Westchester, Ohio. Another running back from Jackson, Tennessee, Trinity Christian Academy High School, 5'10", 160-pound Kevin Davis.
Yeah, we talked about Jeremiah Batiste earlier getting second in the state of Tennessee in the 100 meters, and here's the reason why. Kevin Davis. Can't be Kevin Davis. This kid's electric and strong like Kenny Young for his size, but just he can run away from everyone, and he can catch the ball. He played quarterback. He played Wildcat quarterback. He played regular quarterback. He can catch the ball. He can run the ball. He's a pure tailback. He's got great vision, great balance. And he's when you're trying to get chunk plays on offense, this kid's a breakaway threat. So we're really excited about Kevin. He comes from a great family, comes from a great program, just a tremendous, perfect Miami kid on and off the field. And here you just see he just play after play after play just gasses everybody. And again, it's tough to find kids that run as fast. I think he ran 10.4 something last year. And the nice thing is he's going to a different division, so hopefully him and Jeremiah will both win the state title this year in the 100. We'll have maybe two track champions in the same class, but here you see his versatility, but just great kid and an explosive athlete.
That is Kevin Davis, and again, coached by Blake Butler at Trinity Christian Academy. 1,932 rushing yards, 22 touchdowns as a senior. Also added 207 receiving yards and 370 return yards. Earned All-State honors as well. Kevin Davis, running back from Tennessee. And we go to Evanston, Illinois, and Evanston High School. 5'10", 175-pounder running back, Quadre Nicholson.
Yeah, probably one of the more highly touted kids if you look at his offer list. And a 4-year starter at one of the biggest programs in the state of Illinois, and just a tremendous high school career. Unfortunate, kind of like Avon, got nicked up his senior year, kind of missed some games, played hurt off and on. But we were fortunate enough to get him, and just a special athlete that you always want to add special athletes to your program. Speed, balance, size, strength, vision. Much like David, just a really, really, really good tailback and a very versatile athlete. So, again, did a really good job in Chicago. Was kind of, we recruit Chicago hard every year, but just this was a good year. We got a number of really, really strong kids from the Chicagoland area and from really good programs in Chicago and in Evanston, the home of Travion Banks, who obviously has been a major, major part of the success and the turnaround. And now we're adding another kid from Evanston and another kid from a great program, and we're excited about Quadre.
Quadre Nicholson from Evanston, Illinois, 4-year starter, 508 yards and 5 touchdowns in a shortened senior season. Had 1,208 yards and 17 touchdowns his junior year, and he also, as Coach mentioned, lettered in track. Our 5 signees in this segment: Dimitri Mitsopoulos from Sylvania, Ohio, Avion Smith from Lexington, South Carolina, David Afari from here in Westchester, Ohio, Butler County, Kevin Davis from Jackson, Tennessee, and Quadre Nicholson from Evanston, Illinois. We have more RedHawk signees to get to as our National Signing Day special will continue from our Yager Stadium studios in just one moment.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. Miami football season tickets for the 2020 season are now available. Your MAC East champions Miami football team will host 7 opponents next season, including Cincinnati and Army at Yager Stadium. You won't want to forget to purchase prior to January 30th to be eligible for our season ticket holder incentive program. Call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295 to purchase your season tickets today, or visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person, with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information, or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
National Signing Day 2020. Welcome back into our show here at our Yager Stadium studios. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks. Head coach Chuck Martin rejoins us here as well. And Coach, before we get into our next segment, which by the way, we're going to be talking defense here in just a few moments, I want to talk about, and we talk about it every year because I'm reading the bios here and reading the bios, and I'm seeing team captain, and just the leadership displayed, and beyond the talent that is obviously there if you're watching the film, that's the kind of leadership potential that you need on your team.
And goes back to your question of how did you do this year with so many young guys?
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what household were they raised in? Don't discount that. That's more important than being team captain or playing at a great high school.
Right.
How were they raised? How was Brett Gabrick raised? How was Rusty Feth raised? How was Caleb Schaefer raised? How was Danny Godlewski raised? Like there's a common theme to everybody that gets in our locker room, and it's not just he can run, jump, and he can block and he can catch. It's were they pushed and challenged? Is commitment, is work ethic part of their everyday life? And if it's not, then we're not trying to add them to our locker room, all right? And we're not trying to add them to Miami University. We're trying to do things the right way. So you get these young kids, and then, as you said, now you got team captains. Now you got team captains from really successful programs that are really well coached, and then you add in what's gone on in the living room for the last 16, 17, 18 years, and then you have a stupid young team that has no business doing what they did this year, but they did it. And it did. And again, do we deserve credit for recruiting? Yes. Do we deserve credit from taking them and developing? Yeah. But a lot of the development was done we chose the right kids coming from the right places, and that makes a huge difference when it comes to wins and losses.
Very good. We're going to talk about defensive skill here as we talk about more of the athletes that have signed their letter of intent. But before we talk about them, I do want to ask you what you were looking for on the defensive side of the ball when you said put everything on the board. What was the goal in the recruiting class this year?
Yeah, pretty much everything is always so. We're always looking to fill a position. We obviously have more D linemen on our roster, so it wasn't a year we were looking to add a ton of D linemen. But we're always looking to add linebackers, D linemen, DBs, run and hit guys. And we always say defense is easy. They're either elite cover guy or they run and hit you. If they don't run and hit you, they better really be able to cover. And if they're not a cover guy, they better run and hit you. So, and that's, as we continue to improve and strengthen our defense, that's the difference. Is our tackling this year is the best tackling defense Miami's had in a long, long time. And guys that like to run and hit and get after it and close space and get after the football.
Linebackers and DBs is talk about here in this segment, and we'll start with linebacker out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Homestead High School there, 6 foot, 205-pound Camden Rogers.
Yeah, and you talk about running and hitting, you're going to see it pretty much in every play here. Ability to close space when the ball shows up somewhere, close space and get there in a bad mood. And again, that's the key to being defense. It doesn't matter size, strength, speed, all that. All the measurables are awesome, but you have to be a guy that likes to run and go find the football. There's plenty of guys that run 4.4 that don't run 4.4 when it comes time to hit somebody. And then there's other guys that run 4.7, but they run 4.2 when they have a chance to go hit somebody. And that's what we're always looking for. And this is a quintessential old school linebacker. He can play in the box. He has really good feel in the box. He's a tremendous blitzer. He's really good in pass coverage. He can do all the jobs, and he plays with an incredible passion. He's going to fit in great on our defense. Really great on our defense when it comes to how he loves to play this game and how he loves to get after people.
Chad Zolman is the head coach there at Homestead High School in Fort Wayne. A team captain on that team is Camden Rogers. First team All-State as a senior, 96 tackles, 8 sacks, 18 tackles for loss, and 3 pass breakups. He was named the Northeast Indiana Defensive Player of the Year. Cam Rogers from Fort Wayne, Indiana. To the DBs we go, to Atlanta, Georgia, Woodward Academy High School there, 6'1", 193-pound Umbe Caldwell.
Yeah, here's a late blooming kid that grew up playing soccer, didn't really play football till junior high, so now he's way behind everybody. Then he plays wide out, then he plays corner, then finally kind of between his junior and senior year, no one's even recruiting him really, and they move him to safety, and it just kind of all clicks. And here's a late blooming kid that has a huge upside. He has length, he has strength, he has ability to run and close and hit people. He's a very, very good receiver with tremendous ball skills. He could definitely be a guy 2 or 3 years down the line. Well, how'd you get that kid at Miami? Well, he's a late bloomer. That's how we got him. And we love him at the safety position. We love him at the nickel position. He probably could play offense and play wide out, but for as little football experience as this kid, plays in one of the top high schools in the state of Georgia. Woodward Academy is always one of the better programs in the state. Here you see him closing space and run and hit, and we are very, very, very excited about this young man.
John Hunt and Ryan Davis are the coaches there at Woodward Academy High School. First team All-Region as a senior is Umbe. Recorded 72 tackles, 2 interceptions, 4 pass breakups. Also had 43 catches for 817 yards and 13 touchdowns on the offensive side of the ball. That's Umbe Caldwell, 6'1", 193 pounds from Atlanta, Georgia. Up next, a DB from Durham, North Carolina, and Southern Durham High School, that is. 6 foot, 170-pound DB, Jaquez Warren.
Yeah, Jaquez, great-looking kid. He can run, he can hit, he can play the ball, he can return, he can play offense. Here you see him playing the ball in the air. Then you see him returning the ball. He never even was a kick return till this year, and I don't know how many touchdowns he had on kick returns. I said, I didn't know you're that good at returning. He goes, neither did I. They never put me back there, coach, and they put me back there. But tremendous, going to be a safety for us, going to play special teams, possibly as a returner, but definitely be a cover guy in special teams. Very quiet, likes football. Doesn't really care about much else other than football. And as I told him on his official visit, I like guys just like you. I said, you're kind of like me. I don't really care about family and football, and we'll be pretty good after that. So really, really good football player. Really happy to add him to the back end of our defense. I think he'll be a versatile run and pass defender for us, and I think he'll be a key special teams contributor.
Darius Robinson is the coach, another team captain for Southern Durham High School. 3 letters, recorded 202 tackles in his career. Off to St. Louis, Missouri we go, and Trinity Catholic High School for 5'11", 170-pound defensive back TJ Rush.
Yeah, hard to find a safety/corner, but this kid can cover, like a corner, but you'll see in his first highlight here, he can run and hit like a safety. And ultra competitive kid, over the top competitor, loves to play, loves to compete, loves to make sure that you know that he's better than you, wants to win everything he does. So we're really excited about TJ, really productive. They played him at corner, they played him at safety. Really good basketball team. He's off to a great start. He's had 20-plus point outings in multiple games already. So really, you know how we love the multi-sport athlete, but really versatile athlete. And but more than anything, I just love this way this kid competes and loves to play the game.
Another team captain, John Randall, is his head coach there at Trinity Catholic. Spot on the all-defensive team in the state of Missouri. First team All-State as a senior, and his team won state championship as a junior, named to the Post-Dispatch preseason Super 30 team. That's TJ Rush out of St. Louis, Missouri. And the final signee in this segment comes to us from High Point, North Carolina, and High Point Christian High School. 6'2", 200-pound defensive back John Saunders Jr.
Yeah, John's another multi-position kid. Here you're going to start not too many 6'3" corners. We're going to see him right here and how his length and how he can cover ground. He gets a nice little pick six. May start on the offensive side of the ball for us. He's a very accomplished wide receiver. Makes big plays, long, can run. We also love this kid's competitiveness. Here you see him on the receiving end of a long touchdown. Can really run for a kid that's almost 6'3", and he's going to run faster and faster. So love his versatility, love his length, really love his ball skills. On both sides of the ball, he's very comfortable with the ball in the air. And we saw it this year how important it is, whether it be offensively or defensively, you have guys that can play the ball. When there's opportunities to make plays with the ball in there, you got to make them. And this kid got a little chip on his shoulders, probably under-recruited. Not sure why, but probably under-recruited. And a lot of times those kids go to college and going to show the whole world that a lot of you guys made a mistake. So we were fortunate. Coach Hauser did a good job staying with this kid. He was a late offer, late pickup for us, but we're excited about him as just like everybody else in this class.
John Saunders Jr. from High Point, North Carolina. His coach there is Scott Bell. He is a team captain for High Point Christian. First team All-State as a senior, 900 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns. He also added 6 interceptions and 16 pass breakups on the defensive side. That is John Saunders Jr., again, defensive back. That is 20 of the 23 signees this year for the 2020 class of Miami RedHawks to sign their national letter of intent to play football here and get things started in the fall of 2020 for the Miami RedHawks. We'll come back, introduce you to the final 3 and more still to come here on our National Signing Day special. We'll continue in just a moment.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. Join Swoops Kids Club, presented by Century 21 and Missy Freedy today. The 2019-20 year offers 2 types of membership, basic for $25 with free tickets to select events, Miami swag, special events, and much more. Or the premium membership for $99, which includes tickets to all home football, volleyball, men's basketball, and women's basketball games, and discounted hockey tickets on Friday nights. Visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
And welcome back into our Yager Stadium studios as our coverage of National Signing Day 2020 continues here from our studios. And 3 more names to be added to the list here of 23 student athletes to sign their national letter of intent to play football at Miami University. And Coach, we talked about the impact that the championship game and the win and the bowl game has on this class. Take us through a little bit of the recruiting process, because I know a lot of guys, until you get that letter, you never know. And I know some of the guys were on campus last weekend, and just, take us through a little bit of that recruiting process and getting this class signed.
Yeah, and it's ever changing, but the recruiting process and cycle has moved up so fast.
Right.
Almost all these kids, except for Ambe and a couple late, were committed before school started.
Sure.
And that's become more the norm, that a lot of kids are committing before the start of their senior season, for good, bad, or indifferent. That's just the way the cycle is. So most of this class, I think 21 to 23, were committed last summer. And then again, different here, we recruit a special type of kid at Miami. Miami's a special place. It's a special school. It's a special campus. It's not, like I would say, it's not better or worse than other schools. We don't compare ourselves to other schools, but it is unique and it is different.
Right.
And people see that when they come here, and it's not for everybody. You're going to go into classes and you're going to be battling 30 ACTs for your grades, right? Well, that's not for every Division I football player. So how we run our program, how competitive we are, how hard we push and challenge kids. So can kids jump off the ship late? It doesn't happen that often that kids decommit late, but it does happen. It's always highly publicized, so it seems like it happens probably more, so you'd always want to have that early commit if you got the right kid. But then even the kids we get at Miami, they're bought into the whole package. They're not just bought into Chuck Martin in the football program. They're bought into, and we sell the whole package. This isn't just come play football for us and win a MAC championship. This is come play football for us, win a MAC championship, but also fight and scratch and claw to get one of the best degrees in the country. And what that will do for you when there's life after football, where there's going to be. And then it's also become the best person you can be. And if you want all three of those things, Miami is a tremendous place to go to school and be a student athlete. And so we get a unique kid. And like I said, I wasn't really sweating. A kid could decommit. And we're also, we have enough pride that if a kid doesn't want to come play for us, I don't really want him to play for us. So I don't sweat it like some guys. But we also know that we have a unique package here at Miami that's different than a lot of places, in that the kids that choose, though, we're pretty confident that they're going to stick with us.
Yeah, and there's so many different options for them academically, and great schools. We talk about the Miami degree, but the schools within Miami University, the College of Engineering. I know a lot of our guys are engineers. The Farmer School of Business, one of the best in the country. And that in itself, those schools in themselves, underneath the overarching Miami University, has to be a great help for you too.
Yeah, and we attract a lot of the high academic football guys. It's an easy sell, but we even sell it to the lower academic football guys because of that opportunity to get this
degree,
to parlay your football success into an opportunity to get a degree from Miami University. That's crazy special. And we always talk about Miami University, and we love that the engineering, we got all these engineers, and we love that we got all these farmers guys, and I'm all for picking the majors where you're going to be a millionaire. That's awesome. But we also talk about Miami's going to prepare you for success in any major. It's not just engineering and business. And it's not just, well, I got to go to Miami because I want to make a lot of money. You may really be into a profession that you're just going to have maybe you're going to be a teacher, and you're not going to be a millionaire if you're going to be a teacher.
Radio announcer.
But a radio announcer. But Miami will prepare you to be very successful in every single field. And that's why I tell kids, you don't have to go to the Farmers Business School, but find something that you think you're passionate in. And Miami is going to have that offered, and they're going to get you very well prepared to be successful beyond football. And that's the attraction, and it is a unique attraction.
Absolutely. Let's introduce our final three signees that put in their national letter of intent here today. One D lineman in the class from Naperville, Illinois, and Benet Academy, 6'4", 246-pound defensive lineman Jacob Snell.
Yeah, Jacob, again, size, strength, and athleticism. He's already transitioned to basketball. He had a tough cover the other night. He had a cover kid, and he said he got a lot of team help, but he covered a kid that's heading to Louisville for basketball, and they won the game.
Yeah, wow.
So for a defensive end to be covering a wing that's going to Louisville, you show some athleticism and show some toughness and competitiveness. But a great program. We've known Coach New for a long time. Another Chicago kid, like I said, last couple of years we didn't get as many Chicago kids. This year we got a bunch, and big, physical, strong, and we know how important that defensive line was to us this season. Not only in the run game, but harassing quarterbacks, and we're adding another young kid that we really think can make an impact in our program probably the day he walks in the door.
Pat New is the head coach there at the Benet Academy. Team captain is Jacob Snell, earned all conference as a senior, 47 tackles, 16 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and 8 hurries in the season. He was named the defensive MVP for his division and earned all area and all conference honors. Up next, defensive lineman from Nolensville, Tennessee, and Nolensville High School, 6'5", 230 pounds, C.J. Ware IV.
Yeah, length and can run. I mean, he's probably closer to 6'5" now as we speak. You were just here this weekend. He is really long. He's really athletic. He's a tremendous student. He wants to go into engineering. He's the quintessential Miami kid when you see him, and his upside is huge in football. He had a great high school career, but he is not even scratching the surface of. He's going to be a huge individual here coming down the road that can really run. He played more of a 3-4 rush end. He can play with his hand down. He can play in a 2-point and drop into coverage. So he's going to give us some nice versatility. But you see most of his highlights are him rushing the quarterback and beating linemen and getting home in a hurry. So it's hard to find 6'5" kids that can run, and you got back-to-back D linemen that we've watched that are 6'4", 6'5", and really athletic.
Team captain for Paul Derrick and the Nolensville High School football team, earned all region as a junior and senior, recorded 75 tackles, 6 sacks, and 8 tackles for loss and 1 fumble. One fumble recovery as a senior. And our final signee, a special teamer, kicker, punter from Frankfort, Illinois, and Lincoln Way East High School, 6'1", 180-pound Dom Jobin.
Yep. Obviously, you lose Sloman, you lose Kramer. There's a lot of RedHawk fans that are fairly concerned with what's going to happen next year. And we got Dom Zobin, and at one point he was ranked a 5-star kicker and a 4.5-star punter. You commit to Miami early, it seems like your rankings kind of go down, they don't go up. But he could kick anywhere in the country. His high school coach, they won the state title. His coach Vonar is one of the best coaches in the country. And he said it after one of the playoff games. He kind of did for Lincoln Way East what Sloman did for us. Make big kicks from really far out. 37 field goals in his high school career, 18 for 20 on field goals this year alone. Multiple kicks outside of 40 and outside of 50, kickoffs through the uprights. Coach Shear did an amazing job. He's like, if I got you a great one, would you? Because usually, Sloman, Kramer, and Crabtree are all walk-ons. And he's like, I know you probably go the walk-on route, but if I can get you a great kicker punter, would you? Then he showed me this kid. I'm like, if you can get this kid, we'll take him right now. Has the ability, obviously, and then now you see his punting ability. He has a tremendously strong leg, so has the ability to do the place kicking, the kickoffs, and the punting. He's going to obviously have to win the job. The job's going to be open with Kramer and Sloman going, but this is a huge get for us at a huge position of need where we lose 2 seniors. And again, he could be kicking in the SEC. He's that talented a kid, and he's that versatile, and lives in the same town that my parents and my sister live in. So pretty awesome to get another Chicagoland kid, and then obviously state champions and from a great program and all that, and from a great family.
He owns the school record for most field goals made, 37, and is the school's all-time leading scorer with 340 points. That is Dom Jobin, a 6'1", 180-pounder from Frankfort, Illinois. And there you have it, the 2020 signee class for the Miami RedHawks. 23 athletes signing their national letter to attend Miami University today. And Coach, we talked about it at the top of the show almost 2 hours ago. Impressive class, and I know you and your coaching staff are really happy with this.
Yeah, no, we're tremendously happy because they're Miami kids. They're all going to fit into this university. They're all going to do great things on the field and help us continue to win, but they're going to do great things off the field, and then they're going to prepare to do great things for the rest of their life. It's just the perfect fit for us. Then tons of length, tons of athleticism, and tons of versatility. Like whether he's a receiver, DB, they almost all played both sides of the ball.
Right.
We got a tight end that played defensive tackle, was a long snapper, played center in Ames Bamba. So just these tremendously versatile athletes. Many of them were captains, like you mentioned. Many of them are multiple sport athletes and really good in their second sport. Not just play to play, but they're dynamic athletes. So as we keep saying, recruiting should and will continue to get better and better at Miami. Last year, we really talked about last year's class. I don't think anybody, including me or you, realized the impact that they were going to have on a MAC championship season, but we knew it was a tremendously talented class, and we feel the same way about this one.
Very good. Coming up in just a few moments here, we will talk about the 2019 RedHawk defense, one of the best defenses in the Midwest as far as I'm concerned, and we'll also ask Coach how this year's recruits fit into that defensive unit going into 2020. That'll be when we come back to our Yager Stadium studios in just one moment as the 2020 National Signing Day Special continues.
The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. Fans who are unable to attend the Lending Tree Bowl game but would still like to support the RedHawks in the postseason are encouraged to purchase a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile, Alabama. If Miami reaches 150 tickets donated, the Lending Tree Bowl will match it for a total of 300 tickets donated to the Girls and Boys Club of Mobile. Tickets can be purchased at MiamiRedHawks.com/BowlCentral. Support the RedHawks in Mobile. Tickets start at just $35 for the general public with special ticket prices of $25 for season ticket holders and Miami Athletic Fund donors. And students are $15 for Code Red members and $20 for general students. If you can't be in Mobile in person but still want to support the team during the postseason, consider purchasing a ticket for Miami Athletics to donate to a local Mobile charity. With all your ticketing questions and needs, call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
And we are back on our National Signing Day Special here at our studios at Yager Stadium. Steve Baker, head coach Chuck Martin. We've released and told you about all 23 signees in this year's National Letter of Intent Signing Day class. Great class for the RedHawks going forward. And earlier we talked about the offense and kind of broke it down and maybe how that class will help out here. Let's talk about the 2019 Miami defense, Coach. And you and I talked about after a lot of games that this defensive unit was special.
Yeah, no, they really were. We need them to be. We thought they had a chance to be. We pushed them hard, particularly in the non-league, and we did some nice things non-league, but there was some areas that got exposed non-league against some good opponents that we said, hey, if we're going to get to where we want to go this year, these things have to get cleaned up and cleaned up now. And we gave up some explosive plays, and again, we played some teams that have some explosive athletes, but at the end of the day, you can't let the ball get behind you. And then once we got in a conference season, we not only didn't give up big plays, we didn't give up the easy one or two play drives. We created big plays. We did a good job. This league was really good at running the football this year, and we did a good job of managing the run game as good as anyone. And then we were number one in the defense and yardage and efficiency and pass. Our pass defense and our pass rush was fantastic the whole season.
The thing that I found impressive time and time again was the ability to get pressure on really good quarterbacks and with four guys. I mean, you would blitz every now and then, send five, send one of the linebackers or the safety, but four guys up front really put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, we played a lot of base defense on first and second down, and Kimpler, Costin, Cam Butler, and who am I forgetting up front? Sharp did a great job on those first and second downs, and obviously we used Dean Lemon and Lonnie and Ivan Pace on third down a bunch with third down pass specialists, and it goes hand in hand. A lot of our picks were forced by pressure up front or blitz pressure, but a lot of our sacks were forced by great coverage.
Right.
There's times that we had plenty of coverage sacks. Our back end, our linebackers on our back end did an unbelievable job of fitting passes all year and taking away. First comment that the coach at Central Michigan half the game is they took away the things we'd done all year, and he was talking about the back end of our defense and all their chunk passes. And our kids are smart, and our coaches did a great job, and they did a great job of being prepared. And a lot of these plays you're watching on the tape and a lot of the interceptions our guys were one step ahead of the opposition and knew what was coming. So it was a great combined effort, and it started with the boys up front, like you said, and we had the luxury of just rushing 4 guys for the first time in a long time and getting pressure on the quarterback. But obviously it was a total team effort with what we did on the defensive side.
You talk about that secondary, and you see Mike Brown with a couple of picks. He had 2 pick sixes on the year, and in the championship game, just kind of unsung because there was a time that he probably could have had 5 or 6 interceptions without penalties. But Sterling Weatherford, just an incredible season for you.
Yeah, between Trey Banks, Sterling Weatherford, Mike Brown, Manny Ragumba, and Bart Barati, we play a 4-2-5. To me, all very deserving of all conference. Only one of them got it, but played at an extremely high level and did an unbelievable job for us. And then obviously you got Miles Reed and McWood having tremendous years along with Kobe Burse at linebacker. And then we talked about the guys up front. And again, we didn't have any holes in our defense. We held Kent State to 16 points. You look at what Kent State did on offense this year in our league. No one held them to 16 points. We held OU to 21 points. You look at what OU did before our game, and then what OU did immediately after our game was short circuit the scoreboard every week, and we held them to 21 points at their place. So, and then right down the championship game, where in league, Central Michigan is 510 yards of offense, and like you said, close to 40 points, and we basically hold them to 14 points for the whole game until we kind of give up a drive late that we're trying to use some clock. So just a tremendous effort by our defense, and they kept us in games all year, and they created field position for offense all year, and they made big plays just like you're watching Sterling Weatherford here, as big a play as any of them on the goal line against Kent State. So it was awesome to watch them. It was awesome to watch they compete, and they certainly raised the bar for the expectations. I'm watching young guys during these bowl practice compete, and you can tell that they know the bar's been raised on that side of the ball, and they're excited to become a part of it.
Yeah, and I got to give a special shout out to Ryan McWood and the guys that run that defense at linebacker. You lose Koenig a year ago, and really one of the outstanding players to play the position, and never skipped a beat at that position.
Yeah, McWood had a huge year. Him and Miles and Kobe at the inside backer position just did a great job. And like you said, the field generals and calling the defense along with Sterling and Mike, it's always the safeties and the linebackers that control everything. And probably in the championship game, Sterling Weatherford made about 35 checks.
Yeah.
So great called game by Sterling Weatherford, not by anyone else. So we had a good game plan, but he recognizes splits and formations and puts us in different things at different times and gives our team a huge advantage. So again, it was a year where defense and special teams and field position and then taking advantage of opportunities on offense and making big plays on offense and then taking care of the football on offense, and everybody bought into how the 2019 RedHawks could be successful, and we came, like I said, we came away with a fairly improbable MAC championship based on the youth and inexperience on one side of the ball.
Absolutely. Now we talked about the defense and how successful they were. Look at your signees and how are they going to fit in the puzzle for 2020?
Yeah, and again, there's opportunities on offense like we talked about, but as we watch McWood's sack here, it's pretty awesome. But obviously we lose, you lose Doug Costin, so there's an opportunity for somebody to come in, whether it be one of these young freshmen, a Jacob Snell or somebody like that, or one of the returning guys, Kobe Hilton from last year's class. You lose Barati and Miles Reed and Kobe Burse, so you lose really 3 of your 4 top linebackers, whether Bryce and nickel linebacker, because Kobe was the first guy in. So there's going to be great opportunities, whether it's a Cam Rogers or whether it's Ivan Pace or Luke Bolden or a Max Wynn or some other young guy. But there's going to be some opportunities, and then you lose Trey Banks and Zed, who were our 2 field corners and played our nickel and dime packages. So there's going to be reps on the back end too. But again, you got a great nucleus back. You got McWood back. You got Cam Butler back. You got Kimpler back. You got Sharp back. You got Lonnie Phelps back.
Got the Rabbits back.
So, yeah, we got our Rabbits back. And then, if you say your secondary is Manny Ragumba, Sterling Weatherford, Mike Brown, you got a 3/4 of a really, really, really high-end MAC secondary there.
You do indeed, as you take a look at some defensive highlights, and looking forward to that 2020 season, but there is work to be done yet for the Miami RedHawks as they will play in the Lending Tree Bowl on January 7th down in Mobile, Alabama. January 6th. Let me get the date right. January 6th in Mobile, Alabama, the Lending Tree Bowl. 3rd trip to Mobile for the Miami RedHawks in their history. We'll come back and talk about the bowl game and also the prep for that bowl game when we round things out here on this 2020 National Signing Day special. Stay with us.
20 National Signing Day special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank, Our focus is you. Miami football season tickets for the 2020 season are now available. Your MAC East champions Miami football team will host 7 opponents next season, including Cincinnati and Army at Yager Stadium. You won't want to forget to purchase prior to January 30th to be eligible for our season ticket holder incentive program. Call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295 to purchase your season tickets today, or visit MiamiRedHawks.com for more information. Join Miami football in Mobile to celebrate the 2019 championship season. Fans can join head coach Chuck Martin and the RedHawks for a buffet-style Southern meal and awards presentation on Saturday, January 4th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Battle House Renaissance. Admission is $50 per person, with children 3 and under free. Make your reservation today at MiamiRedHawks.com. The newly established Miami Athletic Fund is the fundraising arm for Miami Athletics. On a mission to provide resources to Miami student athletes in their pursuit to graduate as champions through engaging and inspiring Miamians worldwide. We will not stop until all Miami student athletes graduate as champions in life, with a degree in one hand and a championship ring on the other. Please visit MiamiAthleticFund.org for more information, or call us directly at area code 513-529-0422. The Miami Athletic Fund. Engage, invest, inspire. The Miami RedHawk 2020 National Signing Day Special is brought to you by Miami Savings Bank. Miami Savings Bank. Our focus is you.
And back for our final segment here at the studios of Yager Stadium. I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks, our National Signing Day special, and a special shout out to the folks at Miami Savings Bank. Always have been a sponsor of this show as throughout the years, and always one of the biggest days of the year for a football program. And Coach, you've had a couple of big days here recently. The championship game, obviously the win at Ohio was huge, but a big day coming up on January 6th when you go to the Lending Tree Bowl, and a great opportunity for your football team against Louisiana.
Yeah, great reward for a great season. Obviously, you've been there, we haven't, but we've heard nothing but fantastic things about how they put on the bowl and the opportunities and some of the special things, from a Mardi Gras parade to the USS Alabama. So for any fans that are thinking about going, it sounds like it would be a great long weekend trip to enjoy. We're having our football banquet down there, which we think will be special, which again, there's going to be opportunities for fans and alums to come to that and really support this team that had such a special season. The late date really helps our football team. We've already, you get one with the MAC championship final start on Monday, and if you play, Buffalo's playing a bowl game here in 2 days. If you had that early bowl game, you got to kind of do some football stuff to get ready. Because of the late date, our kids could just focus on finals. They got back from the MAC championship, and they could, unfortunately or fortunately, get right into their finals, and we didn't have to worry about football that week. We had some treatment and recovery, but and then this week we've had 6 practices, which are true bowl practices, where we've let our young guys that have been on scout team and haven't played our offense and defense, and you haven't seen on TV winning the MAC championship, get 6 practices in and play a lot of football of our offense and defense, which is a benefit of having the later game.
Right.
The next piece is we're going to send them home for 8 or 9 days, which they deserve a nice Christmas break with their families. They've earned it, so it's awesome that, last time we played in a bowl game was on the 26th, which that's fantastic too, but you're not getting to spend Christmas with your family at home. So all these kids are going to be able to go home and spend a nice Christmas break with their family, and then we're still going to have 10 days when we come back to get our team ready to go play a really, really talented Louisiana team, and then also go down and enjoy. Part of getting to bowls, letting these kids and their families enjoy this experience, and we're looking forward to that also.
Well, and January 6th, it's a month after the championship game, and it would. Glad to hear that there's a break in there for the kids and obviously for the coaches as well, because at that point I think it becomes hard to focus if they're doing football the entire time. Between that month.
Yeah, really for our older kids that are going to play in the game, they went finals for a week. This week they're doing a little bit of football, but they're doing a lot of lifting and running,
right,
and a lot of rehab because they've got a lot of plays on their body.
Oh yeah.
And then they've been coaching the young guys, so they've almost been not on break because we're lifting and running, and we're doing enough to keep them sharp. And then they're going to get another week at home alone, so they're going to really only have like 9 days before the bowl game to really get back. So they're going to get not only a really nice physical break, they're going to feel better than they felt probably since Iowa,
right?
But also they're getting a nice mental break, and they're getting some of the spoils of having And then the other advantage is we're the only game. It's the only game before the national championship game. And, you know, it's a last bowl game. It's on ESPN. It'll be like a midweek game that anybody that wants to watch football, it's us in Louisiana. There's nothing else on.
Right.
So it's a Monday night football slot, and there's so many good things for our football program. And the nice thing, we earned our way into the late bowl because the late bowl got the first pick, and you have to kind of win the MAC championship to get to that bowl, and that's how we got there, which makes it even more special.
Absolutely. Just tell the big guys to stay away from the pumpkin pie too much when they're gone at Christmas, right? The RedHawks and Louisiana will kick it off on January 6th. You can go to MiamiRedHawks.com and check out Bowl Central. All the information that you could possibly want for the Lending Tree Bowl is right there, from hotels to events. Everything you need is right there. And having been to both of Miami's appearances in Mobile at bowl games, I can tell you as a fan, you're going to have a great time. The coach alluded to the pep rally. That is on Saturday night. On Sunday night, the pep rally is Sunday night, excuse me. There's a huge Mardi Gras parade on Saturday night that most people don't know. Mardi Gras home is in Mobile. The first Mardi Gras was in Mobile. And it's just a great time. Plus, as you said, the championship dinner will take place there, and I guarantee you will have a wonderful time in Mobile, Alabama.
And just like we said earlier in your piece with David, of if you do buy tickets, head down, make sure you buy it through our athletic department, because we get the money from the proceeds there, versus if you just go to lendingtree.com and buy them through them, then they get the proceeds. So obviously, if you're buying tickets to go watch Miami, we already know you're a Miami supporter. Make sure and tell your friends and family that, make sure they buy them through us, and we really appreciate it, and come down and support these kids in this awesome football team.
Yeah, they certainly deserve it. And again, to buy your tickets, you can call the Miami Athletic Ticket Office at 513-529-4295, or you can go on MiamiRedHawks.com and order those tickets as well. One final question before we get out of here, and this outstanding class will hit the books and hit the field this fall. The 2020 season tickets are on sale. Call the Athletic Ticket Office. Go to MiamiRedHawks.com. But 7 home games next year on this schedule. After this year of playing 6 of 9 on the road, you guys deserve that.
Yeah, and we're excited because we love to play in Yeager, and obviously we ran the table, went 5-0 in Yeager, so it's a huge home field advantage. And you'd love to be at home, and it's great for your fans, it's great for your families, it's great for the players' families. It's a lot easier for them to come here. They're accustomed to having these home games. And so we have an awesome schedule next year. Probably the best schedule we've had in a few years, as far as not only 7 home games, but also who we get to play. You get to go to Pittsburgh and Heinz Field, which will be a great experience for our kids. You got Cincinnati at home, you got Army at home, and everyone knows 2 years ago we played, what a special game that was, and the ties with Red Blake from Miami to Army. There's some great ties between, and that was obviously a tremendous football game. And then we got a 1AA opponent at home too, and then we haven't got the conference schedule yet, but we'll deal with that when it comes out. So we're crazy excited. 2019 is not done yet. We got one more to get, and obviously we're 2-0 in the bowl down in Mobile, so we're going to try to make it 3-0.
Very good. And again, January 6th for that. Make sure you call and get your tickets and support the team down in Mobile. Myself, Terry Bridge, Randy Hollowell will be down there to broadcast the game for you on the Miami Sports Network. That'll do it for us here today. 23 RedHawks signing their national letter of intent. If you'd like more information, you can certainly go to MiamiRedHawks.com. Follow Miami Redhawks on Twitter or Facebook as well. And you can also follow the football team at MiamiOH_football. So make sure you do that as well. Coach, thank you so much. As always, a great time, and congratulations on a great class.
Appreciate it.
Head coach Chuck Martin joining us, and that will do it. Stay tuned. Coming up, the stream will stay live, but coming up at 1:30 this afternoon, just 30 minutes from right now, Coach Martin will have a press conference, and you'll be able to see that as well. So again, stay tuned. It'll be right here on this stream at 1:30, 30 minutes from now. Stay tuned for Coach Martin's press conference. Until then, for Coach Martin, I'm Steve Baker, the voice of the RedHawks. Thanks for watching.